Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now today I'm bringing you an extra video for this week that is a question and answer video. I used to do these a while back on this channel, but I put them on the IRL channel. But I thought I'd bring them back considering most of the questions are related to League of Legends anyway. So you can kind of minimize the video because this is pretty much it. This is me on camera. You can minimize the video if you want, go into a LOL game yourself or do some homework or something while I talk for about half an hour with your questions. So let's get into it. So let's go for the first one. What is the best build for Karthus, either mid or top? Who is a free lane for Karthus, and what lane opponents does he struggle against? So as many people know, I'm a massive fan of Karthus. I am really happy he's been picked back in the LCS. I used to play him a while ago. One of my claim to fames is when I was ranking up, like getting 2 Diamond in the first time, I actually did play against Athene. Some of you may know Athene, and I actually beat him back on my Karthus against his Rise. He's actually come back to LoL as well. But anyway, the item build for Karthus, generally, is you want to get an early tier because that is a great scaling item. Then you want to get yourself a Rod of Ages. After that, it really depends on how well you're doing. If you're doing okay, then Zhonya's is always a great option. It allows you to continue doing damage in the middle of a team fight without taking any, and gives you more survivability. If you're doing amazing, like you're super fed, you don't need Zhonya's, then just go Deathcap and then finish your Archangel, just to maximize how much AP you have. And then, honestly, it's just a random assortment of AP items, just to kind of say what core items you need on him. The 4 core AP items on Karthus is, in my opinion, if you're lane Karthus, it differs if you're jungle, but if you're lane Karthus, Archage eventually, Rod of Ages, Deathcap, and Zhonya's. They are the 4 big AP items that you want on him, so you'd probably add your tier 2 boots, and then potentially one more item. That could be a Void Staff for extra AP, it could be a Riley if you want to slow more people in the middle of a team fight, but that's up to you. So that's pretty much it. And then for lanes on Karthus, honestly, I'm not really going to answer this fully because Karthus is not a great lane champion. He can do very well, but your main focus isn't killing people. Your main focus is 1, surviving, and 2, getting as much CS as possible. So if you're a mid lane, wander around all the time and pick up your own wraiths. Just get as much CS as you can, and you're a late game monster, like one of the strongest champions in the game. So yeah, lane phase isn't that important for Karthus. Just survive and get CS. That's pretty much it. If you get kills, it's a bonus. Next question is, hey Huz, when I first got to Diamond in Season 3, I believe, you are correct. How often did I play, and how narrow was my champion pool? What did I focus on to improve? So very soon, I'm still kind of putting the final little touches on it. There will be the updated How I Got Diamond video. That is the most popular video on this channel, and that will kind of cover all this. But just to kind of answer this very briefly, is I played a lot. Season 3 is when I played League of Legends the most. It's when I was on a gap year. That I wasn't in any education. It was before university, so I played every day. My champion pool was massive. I literally played every single champion in the game, which I regret back then. And what did I focus on to improve? Thinking about what I actually need to achieve in the game, realizing that the end goal is the Nexus, not getting kills, and then also eventually narrowing my champion pool. But the first time I got Diamond, I literally played everything. I am what I call, like, even now, I'm somebody that would say I'm an all-round Diamond player. Although I do have my better roles, I probably can play everything to Diamond level, which I think is a good thing to have. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Next question is, when you jungle, or when I jungle, I always seem to be doing something wrong, or the wrong thing at the wrong time. How do I learn to do things right, etc.? Ganking the right lane, when to farm, and Baron Dragon calls. Experience. Honestly, experience is key. I am actually a firm believer, and people are going to disagree, but I'm a firm believer jungle is the hardest role in the game to get right. Mechanically, it's not the hardest role. You know, mechanically, most of the champions are relatively easy to play. But to be a good jungler, you've got to be so much more than a laner. You've got to be looking at your lanes. You've got to be weighing up which lanes are strong and which are weak, which you can get kills in, when to counter jungle, when to like see if they're counter jungling you, when to call for buffs, when to do dragon. There's so much a jungler has to do to get right, more so than any role in the game. So experience is key. Playing the game is the biggest thing that will help you improve as a jungler. Like, that is pretty much it. Like, I can't teach you experience. You get that with, you know, playing. And that is pretty much it. Ganking the right lane is game knowledge. Now, if you just watched the league discussion I just did, I did say game knowledge is a really important thing to be a good player, because you need ganking the right lane is pretty much just weighing up which lanes do you think you actually can do well in, which lanes do you think you can get a kill in. So you've got to know the matchups. You've got to know, right, my Katarina is level 6 and their Ahri is level 5. If I CC her, we can probably get a kill. All that type of thing has to be going through your head all the time. When to farm, again, game knowledge, it's experience. There's not much I can add to that. It's when do you think your power spike is to get a kill against when do you actually need to farm. Now, a lot of people do one of two things. They don't gank enough, so they get a lot of farm, but their teammates get behind because the enemy jungler is ganking, or that they'll gank way too much and be behind on farm because their ganks may not always work. You've got to find the right balance, and again, that only comes with experience of playing the game more. And then again, Dragon and Baron cores, you've got to fail at them to get better at them. That's the way that I see it. You know, if you make a Dragon call at 20 minutes or a Baron call at 20 minutes, it goes terribly. The next game, you know not to do that again unless you're way, way, way ahead. So yeah, it's just playing the game. It sucks, but that's the way it works. Next one is, would I say that Rumble is one of the best top laners? Yes, but there is a little attachment onto that. He's one of the best top laners if you're a good Rumble. I'm going to say majority of the champions in League of Legends are easy-ish to play. Like, you could just play it and you'll do fine. But there are maybe 20 champions in LoL. I believe that you need a lot of practice in order to get them right. And Rumble is one of these champions. Rumble has... His ultimate is a bit weird if you don't play him a lot. His laning is a bit odd because your auto attacks are awful and you've got to control your Q very well. He's just a kind of unique champion. And if you don't play a lot of Rumble, or if you're not very good at him, he's probably more of a disadvantage than an advantage. But yeah, he's definitely in the top 5 if you're really good with him. That's why you don't really see Rumble in tier lists, though. In top lane, let's say I did a top 10 tier list right now. Rumble might be 8th, but like 8th or 9th. But if I actually said if you're an amazing Rumble, it will probably be like 3rd or 4th. But there you go. Next one is, what are my thoughts on Kennen? I've always been a fan of Kennen, honestly. Kennen was, when I first started League of Legends, I only played Fiddlesticks, and one of my friends only played Kennen. So I quite like the champion. I played him quite a lot myself, I think in Season 2 or 3. And he's good. He is good. I believe it's a he now. I think they confirmed that. Kennen has a strong lane phase, that he's very much a bully that has pretty damn good stunning potential, etc. But he's even stronger now that his ultimate change went through. So for those who are unaware, when you ultimate now, the big massive electric circle, everything in that is in W range. They've all now got a stack that if you press W, it'll hit all of them, which is amazing. That means you can stun like 4 people instantly, where it was actually quite hard to do that, or you couldn't really do that on Kennen. But you basically, all you have to do on Kennen nowadays is you ult them, you W them, and then you E them, or other way around, it depends, you know, whatever you want to do, and you just get millions of people in stun. It's great. They could flash away and you could still get a stun on them if you like ult and E them and then press W. So no, he's a really good champion. He does have some weaknesses. Obviously he's very squishy. He is prone to getting camped, and if he does get behind, his damage is kind of lackluster. But if you get ahead on him, he will blow everything up. Thanks for the question. Next one is, do I think Hecarim is a viable top laner? Yes. Just to kind of get that out there really quickly, yes he is. He's more of a cheese top laner than anything, but he is borderline cheese. The cheesy part of Hecarim is his roaming potential. His actual laning phase is actually very normal and very strong. He's a duelist, he has a great sustain, he has potential to run away, you know, with using his E or ultimate, much like a Malphite does, to like just jump away from a gank. But what the cheese part of Hecarim, and this is where if you want to pick up Hecarim, you have to have amazing map awareness, because you have to take teleport, and you have to make use of ulting people or teleporting around the map with, you have to buy tier 2 boots early and home guard, teleport around the map with your ultimate, and that's how you be a useful Hecarim top. It's not winning your lane phase one-on-one, although you can. It's teleporting around the map, just picking up kills here and there, and it's really strong if you're good at it. Next question is runes on Gnar. So the runes I run on Gnar are very simple. So it's a lot of armor penetration and then some resistance. So Quints, armor pen. All three of them pure armor pen. Reds, armor pen. Yellows, armor, and blues, magic resist. The reason for it is that I build a very tanky Gnar build. I do actually sometimes rush a brutalizer if it's an okay matchup, or a hex drinker, and the armor penetration just allows you to scale a little bit into late game without building much damage. And then, yeah, just build pure tank, pretty much. That's Gnar. Gnar does a decent amount of damage if you do get that armor pen and still build tank, so that's the runes that I run. Next one is, what do I think of Heimerdinger and Vel'Koz? So just to quickly say before this is, there's a lot of questions regarding, is this champion good or that champion good? Just to quickly say that obviously, look, if you're watching this video, look at the date it's uploaded, because if you're watching this video in a few months' time, my opinion might have changed on these champions. But yeah, Heimerdinger is actually surprisingly strong. He is stronger than a lot of people think. And I've seen a few Heimerdinger mains absolutely own people, easily own people, because they underestimate him. Now, he's not an amazing, obviously, champion. He's not in nowhere near the top 10. But you can do well on him if you're good at him, surprisingly. And then Vel'Koz, I rate him as a pretty good support. If Vel'Koz is an extremely poke-intense support, and you can do wonders. If you have a Vel'Koz like Ezreal lane, oh, it's a nightmare for the enemy team. They just get poked to death. And Vel'Koz damage does scale quite nicely as a support. For those wondering, or if your question is like, what about a mid lane? I don't really rate him as a mid laner. He's way too prone to getting killed. Even against an Orianna, he can get killed really easily. And Orianna doesn't really kill people in lane. So that kind of shows how weak I think he is. Especially, like, my opinion obviously is to diamond level play. In bronze, silver, he might be okay because people don't know when to get kills. But yeah, I don't really rate him as a laner. I more rate him as a support. Next question. Stream schedule, question mark, and should you spend RP on skins or champions? So my stream schedule is kind of up in the air right now. I am very busy with university. That's kind of why there was a little bit of a void of content like late last week. But I'm trying to pick up the pace again. So I don't really have a stream schedule, just to kind of say that. Mainly it is Wednesdays and Saturdays, but I am looking to probably add another day in there somewhere. And then also, should you spend RP on skins or champions? That is completely on you. That is not for me to ask or answer, because it's how you value money. Like, I've spent probably around £3,000 on this game. That's a lot of money to most people, but I treat it as my hobby, that it's just random money that I'm using for my hobby. It's honestly how you just rate your money. Like, that is it. I can't answer that question. I don't know your financial situation. It's always good to own more champions, but I also like skins, so it's up to you, dude. I can't really answer that. Next one. Do you think getting carried is bad? And is playing noob champs like Master Yi bad? You've been playing Master Yi and they report you for playing noob champion. They mad. So do I think getting carried is bad? Not really, but it is if you're getting carried all the time. Earlier I was streaming and I played 4 ranked games in a row. And I'm happy to say I won all 4. And one of them I got carried. I think I was playing Nidalee jungle and I was just not having a good game. And my team just carried me completely and we won the game. It's okay occasionally to get carried. It's great. You have a free win. Don't complain about it. The problem is if you're getting carried all the time, it pretty much means that you don't deserve the rating you're in, or etc. It is especially more prominent if you're in a duo queue relationship and if your duo queue partner is constantly doing better than you, then that kind of shows that they're just carrying you along. But yeah, it's not a bad thing, but it is bad if you get carried all the time. And then, secondly, is playing noob champions like Yi bad? Listen, I'm not a fan of like Master Yi, I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of Udyr or Shaco, but that's just me. Everybody has champions that they don't like, and everybody has champions that they do like. I love Lee Sin and Nidalee. Some people hate them champions, just like they hate Master Yi. Like, it doesn't honestly matter. And as for the noob champion thing, if you're new at the game or whatever, play the noob champions to get used to the game. Hell, there's, what's his name? Kaosep. He plays Master Yi in Korean Challenger level. Like, it's fine. Like, play whatever champions you actually like. They shouldn't be that mad for picking a champion if you do well. So all I'll say to that is play well and nobody will complain. It's that simple. Obviously play Master Yi in the correct roles, so pretty much jungle at the moment. So I understand if they may get mad at you if you're trying to play him top or somewhere else. But yeah, play Master Yi in the jungle, do really well, and they have nothing bad to say. So there you go. Next question is, how do I keep a balance of school and League of Legends? Well, it's even more for me. It's school, League of Legends, and YouTube. Because obviously, I'm not just playing League of Legends. I'm actually editing videos, uploading them, all this type of thing. Which is even more work. It is hard. And yeah, no, I'm doing quite well in university. You know, in England, I'm in second year university. Currently on an 85% average, which is extremely high. And it's hard, but I prioritize university over League of Legends, obviously, and that's the way it should be. Like, if you're I don't know how old you are, but if you're a kid watching this right now, if you're in high school, whatever, League of Legends is a video game. That is not going to be your future. Now, a lot of you may be, yeah, but I'm going to be an LCS pro. Don't count on it. And that might sound really harsh, but honestly, don't count on it. All the LCS pros right now say, no, go to school, because yeah, they may make a little bit of money for a few years playing League of Legends professionally. After they finish LoL, they don't have an education, and the only thing that they know is League of Legends. Like, they won't have a great life in 10 years' time unless they get back in the esport industry as a caster or a coach or something, which not all of them will. Honestly, prioritize school more. It's not a balance. It shouldn't be a perfect balance. It should be school way more than League of Legends, and that's probably what your parents say, because I know a lot of people argue with their parents about video games. I did, but it really should be school way more than video games. Like, I'm 20 years old, and I know when I have kids, they'll play video games, they'll do sport, but school comes first, and it should be like that. God, I sounded like a dad then, but oh well. Next one is, how good are Kennen and Diana? So I answered already Kennen a little bit earlier, so I'll go on about Diana. Diana is great. I actually rate Diana very highly. I did the video on her recently and got quite fed. And Diana can play in 3 roles. She can play top, jungle, and mid, and I actually rate her in that order. I think she's best as a top laner, then a jungler, and then a mid laner, but she does fine in all 3. The only problem with Diana, I think, again, she's one of them 20 champions-ish that you need to play a lot of in order to do well on her, like, often. And I think you need to play her in a lot of normals before you ever consider going into ranked with her. And she's also a champion you need a specific rune page for. A bit of attack speed, bit of AP, etc. So you've got to have that considering as well. But no, very strong. You can build her pretty much in any way. In top lane, I'd recommend going the Rod of Ages build and then going your just normal assassin. Gives you a bit of beefiness. In the jungle, just go pure AP assassin, and then mid go pure AP assassin. Maybe with an abyssal early on just to survive. But yeah, very strong. Let's see, next few. So I'm only going to do a couple more. I don't want this video to go crazy long, but here we go. I feel like I'm stuck. I just got to my second promotion series to Silver 4 and lost both games in which I played well. One game I was 11-1-20 and lost. I feel like I'm ready, but am reconsidering it. Am I good enough or unlucky? Any tips for an AD carry like me? Well, if you went 11-1-20 and you didn't win, honestly, to me, it just says you didn't carry enough with your lead. So you're very strong, obviously. Maybe if you were playing AD carry, your positioning was a bit off, or you just couldn't get the damage in team fights, so your teammates just died without you doing anything. But honestly, that whole, am I not good enough or unlucky? Well, I don't believe in luck, especially what rating you deserve. I am very much like on the side of you get what you deserve. So probably, it sounds harsh, but you're probably just not good enough right now. And yes, you can have good games. Like, here's the thing, I've said this in the past. KDA is a cool thing to have, but it honestly doesn't matter if you lose. It means nothing if you lose the game. Winning the game, blowing up the enemy nexus, is everything. That is how you win a game of League of Legends. It's the only way you win. You know, yes, they can surrender, but never think about that. So going 11-1-20 and you lost doesn't mean anything to me. That just says that you didn't carry enough. Again, that might be a bit harsh, but sometimes it's good to hear the harsh thing. Any advice, though? Play AD carries that are kind of on the fence of being carry-ish and utility. I think if you play something like Vayne, I don't think you're going to have a great time because you're just going to get focused and because she's like a magnet. Where if you play something like Caitlyn or if you play something like Severe, you're offering both damage for your team and you can do well in lane phase, you can get ahead if you play well, but also you offer utility to your team, especially like Severe. It offers movement speed, it offers an engage. And yeah, you play champions that you're just very comfortable with, again, you know. But pretty much that's it. It's nothing to do with luck. You get what you deserve. You just got to play well enough. You know, they like, again, just going 11-120 and you lost. To me, it just kind of says that you didn't, like, you only died once, that kind of, but you did that much, or you got that fed. Probably means to me that all your teammates were dying in team fights, and you either wasn't there, or you wasn't doing damage to the enemy team while they were dying. So that's pretty much it. And then I'll probably do this question, and then a final one is, hey, you main jungle, but you're not a pro player. I actually want to know why I move during camps, and does that affect my clear by any means? Sorry if this looks like a stupid question, but you know, hello, ELO. So a lot of people have asked me about this, is when I clear jungle camps, I will never stay still. My character is constantly moving, and you'll see the same in professional scene or high rated. The reason for this is quite simple, is you're a harder target to hit when you're moving. And if you don't have much vision around you, the enemy jungler could be there, the enemy mid laner could be lining up a skill shot on you. And if you're constantly moving, they could randomly throw a skill shot at you and they could just miss it because you're constantly moving while doing the camp. It could save your life. There's one reason, is just to be a little bit more fluid in moving, so you're less likely to get hit by like a gank in the jungle. And then the second reason is if you're constantly trying to like move away from stuff while in between your attack animation, you actually can take less damage. Because obviously, let's just kind of say, if I punch something, this recharge time that my fist goes back and then goes forward, I don't need to be near the camp to do that because I'm not actually doing any damage at this point. I only need to do damage or go next to the camps when I'm actually going in for the hit. And every single champion has an attack animation, and you can basically make use of that to take less damage. But that is pretty much it. Let me just kind of browse if there's anything else. Someone's just quickly asking, what software do I use for recording games, as they might want to start doing YouTube. Honestly, OBS. OBS for live streaming and OBS for local recording is a pretty damn good tool. I recommend it for everybody, and it's free. And then the final one, I'll just kind of wrap it up, is there's a lot of confusion, or a little bit of confusion. I think it's kind of died down a little bit, but what role am I playing in Dignitas? So just to confirm, I'm not a player. I'm a content creator, YouTuber and streamer. You kind of probably have noticed that everything is now Dig. I'm the Dignitas YouTube or Twitch team. And then very soon, I'm in probably the process this weekend of making a video, my first official video for the Team Dignitas YouTube channel, which you can see over here. So that's pretty much my role, just to create content under the Dignitas organization. There is potential for future growth or different things, but for now, that is kind of what I'm focusing on, and it's pretty damn fun. The guys at Dig are great. You know, I've already got a pretty good relationship with them, so that's a good thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And just a couple more things. I did get asked today, will I be going to like London Comic Con or anything like that? Maybe. There is one in May, and I think it's like 22nd to 24th of May, something like that. Most likely I will be. I'm just going to ask a couple of my friends if they'll be going, and if they are going, I'll be going as well. So yeah, might be able to meet some of you guys. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Again, ask questions if you have any down below in the comment section on Twitter or r.fm, and I will look next month for them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the series coming back to the main channel. I enjoy doing these videos because it interacts with you guys a bit more. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So goodbye.